Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I am going to be repairing and servicing this Echo SRM-211i. It is in desperate need of a cleaning, it needs a pull start, and as I take off this pre-loosened air filter cover, you can see it needs a service. It's supposed to be white, but it ain't. It also leaks. You can see all the residue and spider webs. It's been sitting for a little bit. And yeah, I will be doing that in this video. I need to start with the disassembly. Starting with the disassembly now, I need to first remove this Phillips screw at the top. I'm not exactly sure what this plastic piece does. Probably offers some sort of protection. It's pretty stout. And then I need to take a 3mm hex or alum and remove 3 bolts. Normally it would be 5, but this one's missing 2 bolts for some reason. Remove the spark plug, lead, and with some wiggling, it just comes right off. You can see that that is monumentally dirty. The starter falls off too. I'm gonna get to work on the carburetor and airbox area. In fact, I think I'm going to start with the airbox cover. Yeah. For the airbox cover, I'm just going to start by picking away at the larger clumps of dirt and oil. I honestly wonder what mixture they were running this on. I got it from one of my neighbors, a very nice lady. Problem is, you can tell it's been neglected. That's just beautiful, ain't it? So I think I'm going to go outside and I'm going to try the garden hose because it has some pressure to it. So after a trip to the garden hose, I have these still dirty but slightly less dirty weed whacker parts. I think what I'm going to try next is I'm just going to try and give them a bath and dish soap. I might take this one too, this, airbox piece. You know what? I'm going to do that. So here, I'm just going to be submerging them in hot soapy water for a little bit. See if I can break down some of the grime, and then I'll come at them with a brush, maybe in like 5-ish minutes. Just see what I can do. Alright, it's been a few minutes. Let's see how these parts look. I mean, they're not going to look any different. Came back with some brushes that are already quite dirty. It'll be fine. Rip that straight from cars and cameras. Hope they won't mind. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. Maybe not for the harder stuff, but for the big loose stuff, that'll be A-okay. Time lapse. So I've set the bits out in the sun to dry. I'll come back to you in a little bit. So I found that Windex actually works pretty well when it comes to cleaning the dirt off of this. You just need a lot of it, stuff like that. Takes a bit of scrubbing too. You usually get away with spraying the towel a couple times. Just doing some wire brushing, and all of a sudden, Hello there. You're not gonna hide from me. Alright, it is now 5 days later, and I have developed a cold. So, you know how that goes. I got my parts, that's nice. Nice fresh starter, and it actually has the fuel tank guard attached, Whoa, I kind of blew this one up while I was playing with it yesterday. So, as you can see, I did some scrubbing off camera. Simply because I'm pretty sure you don't want to be watching a whole video that's just time-lapse. I'm going to attempt to remove the fuel tank because I hate how dirty it is. Let's see if our spider friend tries to pay us a visit. It has made some new webs since the last time I touched this, which means it's trying to tell me it ain't going anywhere. Ooh, it's turning sweet. Not sure what the previous owner did to this thing. But these screws are so tight. They are in there. They're either cross-threaded. I hope they don't come from the factory like this. I'm probably just gonna leave this rolling while I search for the other one. Found it. This was the one that was giving me issues. Push, turn. This one's not going, it's stripping. Alright, I'm gonna figure this out off camera. I'll come back to you when I have a solution. So I may have found a solution. Yeah, it kind of rotates now. So I might be able to tip it over and kind of work the bolt out. Oh, it's turning. Yep. All right. It's coming. Tip it back the right way now. Run it out with the Phillips. If I can find it. Alright, there she is. Alright, I gotta remember this. Return line. Ooh, that's a hard fuel line. Glad I got new ones. Return line goes closer to the bulb. And, no, that's not a good system. Return line towards the airbox. Filtered line towards the engine. There we have it. As you can now see, this tank is quite dirty, and so is the underside of the weed whacker. So I'm going to take this outside, and I'm going to scrub it with an brush. It's plastic. I think I'm going to scrub the weed whacker with this this metal one. It doesn't seem to dig into the aluminum at all, so it must be like maybe brass or something. I don't know. Would you look at that? I covered a model number. It's an SRM-211, not a 210. I thought it was a 210. I mean, I guess it is. I'm not sure what the 1 means. Soon to find out. Through my years on the internet, I have been taught that when you have the cover off your weed whacker, you should check the spark arrestor. It's a little mesh screen in the exhaust that basically just stops sparks and stops wildfires if you live in California like I do. I'm pretty sure they're on most weed whackers. I don't know. I'm not the one to ask about that. So I'm gonna check it. Womp womp. Can the camera still see alright? Prop it up with a bowl, because why not? And some zip ties. That's how we do stuff around here, people.
screen looks fine. Here, let me bring you in for a view of that. This gasket is awful though. It's no big deal though. To those who may be wondering, oh, why are you putting so much effort into an old weed whacker? Because I want to. Simple as that. You know, my neighbor gave it to me, I might as well give it a second shot at life. I really only needed a pull start, you know. The maintenance stuff is just other stuff. That air filter was pretty necessary though, if you ask me.
Alright, so now I'm going to install a new primer bulb because the maintenance kit came with one. This one, seems fine, you know. It's pretty yellow though. I don't know, I just feel better if I replaced it. Who knows, maybe I'll regret this. Alright, got the primer bulb off, and it's actually kind of dirty under there, so I'm just gonna clean this.
So here I have the fuel tank. As you can see, it's been kind of cleaned most of the way. So now I'm going to remove this fuel line bushing, pull the filter out. Luckily it fits through. And then I'm gonna put the new one in. Maybe I'll clean up the area first. That would be a good idea. Ooh, look how deliciously yellow this is. Oh, I see. Some people in the Amazon reviews were talking about this. They said the bushing was too big. So I'll come back to you when I get it installed. Alright, got that installed. Now I'm just gonna spin the grommet around a little bit because I feel like it. Put them in the holes. Doesn't really matter which holes they go in, as long as they go in and seal. You want them to seal. It's probably the most important part of this grommet, you know, existing. Little pro tip, do this to your fuel lines if you want to install them a little easier. Just kind of angle them. And then it may or may not slide right in with some effort. Alright, got the fuel lines in. That took a little bit more effort than expected, but it worked. So now to get it installed on the machine. Alright, got the fuel tank installed. Now, if I do remember this right, it was filtered towards the engine and returned towards the airbox. So this maintenance kit came with a spark plug, so I'm going to change it. Just gonna use a 19mm deep socket. It's not quite the exact right size, but it works. Compare the two. Ooh, she is a little weird. Thread that in. Tighten it down, snug. Want that crush ring to actually crush. Don't reconnect that because I still have to put the cover back on. Time to get my beautiful new starter. Set it on there, just like that. Drop the cover on, and put the screws in. Some of you may notice that I only have 2 screws on the back. There's supposed to be 4. And the answer to that would be, the weed eater only came with 2, and I haven't gotten a chance to get 4 yet. Just gotta move this vent line down a little bit so that way it gets in there without being hella bent like that. Now, some of you may say, hey, that doesn't look much more clean, and you'd be right. And I don't want this too tight. It's probably good enough. Alright, she's ready. Pull start works. Sweet. Alright, it is now 2 days later. And yeah, I'm gonna start it right now. I've already ran it twice, so it should run. Runs pretty good too, if you ask me. Just be wary, you are gonna hear some angry chicken noises when I start this because I have chickens and they are easily angered, put it that way. Choke. She's a little cold. So that was a pretty successful test. It runs pretty good now. Yeah, this was all the waste that was created. You know, I got that air filter, spark plug, all that, you know, exploded starter. That was my own fault. Other than that, yeah, she runs good. Anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.